I made a couple roast in the crock pot the other day, and I wanted to show y'all how I did it. So I got them real dry, and I put that Kinder's The Blend all over them, and then I used some Post Oak all-purpose seasoning, put that all over them, and I used some roasted coffee gunpowder seasoning, and I put that all over them. I rubbed it in real good and got it in all the creases and crevices, turned them over and went and washed my hands. And then I put the same things on the other side. Rubbed it in real good on that side too. Then I put 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter and some olive oil. And I'm just going to put a sear on each side. And I did that to both of them. This was early in the morning because these roasts need 6 or 8 hours to get real tender. So once I had them in the crock pot, I put 2 cans of beef broth and then some of that pot roast seasoning by Crock Pot and a brown gravy pack. And then I just covered it and cooked it on high. I want to say for like maybe 4 hours, and then I turned it on low. This was later on that day, so it was time to start cooking everything else. I wanted to have some green beans, and like every time I make green beans, I do them different. This time I wanted onions and potatoes in them, so that's what I'm doing here, is getting that cut up, and I washed those off. So I'm putting my green beans, I think I did 2 cans. I did 1 can of beef broth and 1 can of water in those, with a little bit of bacon grease, some Wash Your Sister sauce, and some salt and pepper. And I also did some corn on the cob because I didn't have as many green beans as I thought I had, so I just wanted an extra side. So I put those in there with some butter, a little splash of milk, and some salt. I also did deviled eggs. And I wanted to show y'all me peeling these because people are always asking me, do I have any tips and tricks about how to peel my eggs so pretty? And I don't. I just boil them for 10 minutes. I almost always use a timer so I don't let time get away from me. But I boil them for 10 minutes. But the trick is to run cold water over them while you're peeling them. Because once that water starts to get under the membrane, the shell just falls right off. And I don't ever have any problems with them when I do it that way. But right here, I'm just making them up. So I'm going to slice them open and get the yolks out. And deviled eggs is so versatile. You can put whatever you like in this mixture. But any of the wet ingredients, you're going to want to be careful how much you put because you don't want it to get runny. This time I did salt, pepper, dill relish, and mayonnaise. Sometimes I put a little mustard. A lot of times people prefer sweet relish or maybe a mixture of both. I put some Tony's in here. You can put diced jalapenos in there. And actually, I wanted to make these ones that I saw online the other day. They're called street corn deviled eggs, and they had corn and tahini and stuff like that on them, but I forgot to do that. But I'm going to do that soon because I saw it the other day, and I said, I know I would love that. I always leave 2 little eggs without no filling because when Haley comes, she don't like the filling in hers. And instead of putting paprika on top of them, I put Tony's on top of them. Gives them an extra little kick. A lot of people put paprika. But I'm going to do that roast and gravy with rice instead of mashed potatoes. So this is me getting the rice washed off, just getting some of that excess starch off of it. And I put it in the rice cooker. And I had boiled me a pound of elbow noodles. Put me some butter and milk in there with some Velveeta cheese. Just do it as cheesy as you like. I don't really have any measurements. I put salt, pepper, and cayenne pepper, and a little bit of milk, of course. I'm going to get that stirred up and then put it back on the stove for a few minutes to melt that cheese, and I'm going to put some shredded cheese in there with it. Just gives it a little extra something. When I do baked macaroni, I always put lots of shredded cheese. So I took some of the broth from the crock pot that meat was cooking in and just put some cornstarch in it to make it a little thicker so we could eat it over our meat for that night. As you see, I done put some on a plate there because the rest of that roast in the crock pot I'm going to use a different day for something else. This is Caden fixing his plate. He got rice and roast and some of that gravy. He's going to get him some corn. I think he got a little bit of everything. Some macaroni. We had a big crowd this night. I had all my youngins at home. Green beans and deviled egg and a roll. It was good. What are y'all going to make for New Year's? Y'all let me know in the comments. I love you. Stay classy.